name's Andy. I teach movement down at Leith Pilates. I've been teaching movement for 10 years now, and of the hundreds of people that come through the studio every week, I started to notice there were certain patterns, and I've been really big on trying to prevent your joint issues from getting worse rather than trying to fix it after the fact. And what I discovered was there was a bunch of common issues that people had and some very easy, very simple solutions that have worked for me, worked for the hundreds of people that come through the studio. You make a few tiny changes in your day-to-day life and you can have a massive impact, gain control of your pain again, and reduce the damage that you're doing to your joints. It's so simple, it's so easy. I just thought I'd share a few of these with you today and see if it can help you in your life. My first tip is just to explain pelvic neutral, and then keeping pelvic neutral is the healthiest thing you can do with your spine. Once you know this information, you can look at your life in a different way and help yourself out. So Brian here is going to help us. You've got the three main points here. You've got a pubic bone down here, and you've got the hip crests. Most people know where those are. And from the side view, it's much clearer to work from the side view that these three bones should be lined up with the spine. What it looks like on me, now if I stand the way I used to stand like that. My spine's going up and down and my pelvis is tilting forward. So I'm crushing these few discs at the back. If you're like that, if you sit in a chair and slouch, my pelvis is tilting this way and the pubic bone's up and the hips are back. And so I'm now crushing the discs here. Keeping the pelvis lined up is actually crucial to sorting out leg problems, knee problems, back problems, pelvis problems, and right up into the spine, right up into the neck. So you end up sticking your head forward if you slouch, or sometimes the head goes back and the breastbone goes out. So lining this up has been the single most important tool that I give my clients and talk to about. It's what we work on. If you've ever been to a gym class and they ask you to engage your core, what they want you to do is work the muscles that keep you in pelvic neutral. I like to explain pelvic neutral, and then you can check it, not just when you're in your gym class or in your Pilates class here, but everywhere, when you're everywhere. In your home, walking, sitting on the bus. Hiya, I'm still talking about pelvic neutral. And people tell me it's really difficult to get their heads around what would be pelvic neutral when you were sitting down or standing up. So we did standing up before and how that can affect your lower back. And again, everyone knows sitting on your sofa, slouching on your sofa is bad news, but I'll talk you through exactly what that means. And this one's actually quite a small sofa and it's quite solid, and, for the very reason that it's quite a good example of how I would like people to sit. So really that's pelvic neutral. So again, if I had my block, that's good pelvic neutral. I'm sitting there and the block is the same angle as my spine, and then my spine's leaned back and the pelvis is slouching back. So again, I'm crushing the lower back. So you very rarely see me sitting in chairs, but when you do, I always just stick a cushion behind me, and it might take two cushions, and so I can sit like that. So the real heart of tip 2 is that your environment massively affects your body, which sounds obvious when you say it, but actually going back, we're surrounded by chairs and everyone else sits down and they seem okay, and yet if you go and ask them, they're probably in as much pain as you are, and if we looked at their bodies, you'd probably find out they've got as much joint degeneration. I don't usually sit on a chair. If you come to my house, I've basically got bolsters, which are just kind of buckwheat padded pillows, and for meditation or sitting like that, I just sit like that and watch TV or read, and that way I'm saving a lot of, my pelvis is in neutral when I sit like that, and I don't have to worry about padding my back for cushions. So, as if that wasn't complicated enough, that now you're looking for your pelvic neutral when you're standing, and now when you're sitting, there's a third element to all this, and this is something I see quite a lot in people. I'll have clients literally come in and say, my hip hurts, and they're standing there, all their weight on that one leg, they're locking the knee, my hip hurts, and usually it's my hip hurts and my neck hurts. So pelvic neutral isn't just in this plane of movement, it's also in this plane of movement. So if your hips aren't angled over your feet, you can do that for a while, but we're really not designed to hold that for a very long period of time. You'll find when people go to sit down, they'll sit down and the leg that they're used to dominating their weight with, they'll sit down, there'll always be a little shift to one side. So they'll sit down, they'll be a little shifted, and then they'll lean back, And again, the whole time you're doing this, not are you only not in pelvic neutral in that direction, but you're not in pelvic neutral in that direction. Usually people that stand with one hip to one side, when they sit down, there's usually a bit of this going on. And they'll sit and watch Netflix and they'll sit and read or whatever for hours on end. And so not only your hips are getting twisted, your lower back's getting twisted, and then even worse, you might even get up from that and start actually doing something physical, and your body's not really taking the time to come back into line. So like I said, it's not going to kill you to do that, but if you're ever doubting how much tension you're causing in your body, just swap to the other side and see how weird that feels, and that's what you've got used to on that side. So none of us are symmetrical. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but the pressures that we put, that furniture allows us to put on our bodies by padding us and thinking that we're comfortable in these situations, is a lot more stressful for the body than we really realise. So it's another one to look out for, not just pelvic neutral in this plane of movement, but also pelvic neutral over in this plane of movement.